Hi guys, it's day 10 of NaNoWriMo, and I just want to say hi guys, and how are you doing? And I'm totally sick, but I managed to get dressed, and I'm going to go to my daughter's orchestra concert tonight, and I wrote 645 words today, and I just want to encourage you guys to keep going, and be that novel's boss. Don't be scared of it. I encourage you to go to bed writing, wake up writing, have coffee. I've been keeping coffee in the fridge, like brew coffee, and keep it in there for up to 3 or 4 days, cold, sealed, and then just add your creamer and ice, and that's what I wake up with in the morning, and when I'm not completely and totally sick. And just start your morning that way. Have it ready. If you like iced coffee like me. But that's like just keep powering through. Even if you're like totally sick, you have work, you have stuff to do, you don't feel like it. Make sure you're breaking down the walls of resistance, which is always write in during the day, like up to 5 times a day. So you don't have a large 24-hour or 36-hour period where you're not writing. Even when I'm sick, I'm still doing my note cards. Remember to do your note cards. Write in a journal. If you have a bunch of free time, write down what you're doing in your free time. At least that's writing something. And you can always write and just type, like, I hate writing, I hate NaNoWriMo, I hate this. Make sure you do that as a type of word sprint. Just get it out. Just write something. Write 4 or 5 times a day. Don't have large blocks where you're not writing, or it's going to be really hard to get back into it, especially if you have anxiety about writing, you're a writer, and you're writing phobic. That's me. I don't like large periods where I'm not writing, or I can't get back into it. So, you know, note cards, open anything and just write. Keep a journal, you know, write about your day, write about everything that's up. Get all of those words out. And just keep thinking about your story. Look at pictures that inspire you. I read writing books and then have a notepad beside me while I read them in case it jogs. You know, I don't sit and read a whole thing, just like for 20 minutes or so, and see if that jogs anything. And of course, I'll get your music. I haven't listened to music because I can't hear anything. I'm so sick. And that's my dog you hear going around there. But yeah, just keep writing. Don't be, I should do a video about like being afraid of writing, like how to get over, that's called resistance. It's like the jump into doing what you want to do and being in the moment versus not being in the moment and sort of worrying about how you're going to get there, and you start to freeze up and you just look at that blank piece of paper, and it's like if you touch the keyboard, it's going to shoot fire and lasers at you. It's going to tase you. You don't want to touch it, you don't look at it, you can't stand to see the words. Make sure you minimize your screen as small as possible. If you open Scrivener, open that thing on the side, makes it tiny. Don't maximize it. Keep it small. And try to look away from it. Caitlin did a really good video, The Sun Went Red, about not looking at it. And Kat did one as well. Try to distance yourself from that judgment, that internal critic. That's what's making you hate writing, and it's what's making you making you not want to do it. That anxiety you feel where I would rather organize my sock drawer, I want to go in the garage and clean the garage, go into the fridge and clean the fridge. Anything but writing. That's how you feel when you're experiencing writing anxiety. You don't want to do anything else. You start paying bills or something, things that also suck, and it's when you make writing a BFD, not a BFG, the big friendly giant, but a BFD, a big fucking deal. Don't make it like that on a pedestal where this is something I have to do to make my dreams come true and to change my life. If you start thinking about just writing like that, like, oh, it's the goddess of writing, don't think about it like that, because it's gonna be too much pressure on you. Like I said, don't make it a big fucking deal. No, it's just writing. That's why I said write 5 times a day on other stuff. That motion of writing, whether it's longhand or just typing up a rant, type up a rant. Do at least 5 things a day where you're actually writing. Maybe you're making a shopping list. Maybe you're just writing down. I write down like what TV shows I watch. So when I go and say I don't have time, I can say, well, you sat there for 3 hours and did these TV shows, or you read a magazine or a book. Write them down and see if that is aligning with how much time you wanted to put into your writing. And just keep a log of it. And I actually have a log for that. I have a log for what I'm doing during this NaNoWriMo time, you know, where I just write what I did in my free time. And then I have a journal, where, like I said, where I sit and look at inspirational things, and then I write down, and scenes always pop into my head, dialogue, bits of dialogue, especially when I go to sleep. And you'll find this if you haven't written all day. You will go to sleep and you will remember that you didn't write. You'll have forgotten completely about it, or avoided it, I'll do it later, and then when you're about to go to sleep, you'll remember. That's when you keep those note cards beside the bed and a pen, so you don't have to go looking, and just, you know, write it down. Scenes, dialogue, very rough, and keep it in a little box so water doesn't spill on it or you don't lose it. And I have filled up one of those for my last project, my last Nano project, you know, through the last months, until I had to get a new stack of note cards, and I put a rubber band on that one, and I put it in there with my November stuff. So I have that going on, and then I have this project, and I only got about 10 note cards. But you know, when you can't do anything else, I mean, if you don't do anything else in the course of the day, keep those note cards going, because the way the brain works, it thinks about it while you're sleeping. So that's why I said go to bed writing, and you will wake up writing. You'll wake up with that story in your head if you spend the time, 20 minutes or whatever it takes at night, to even just look at inspiration before you go to bed. If you don't have a computer when you're about to sleep, use the inspiration board by your bed to look at and see all those pictures, and just let it marinate overnight, soak in, and you'll be surprised that you wake up writing. Once you've had a coffee, you know, and sort of had a shower and woken up, you will be able to open the computer and just type out a scene that you've thought of. And don't say, I'm going to type it out later, I'm going to write it down later. Don't do that. Even if it's 2 lines of dialogue, write it right then on a note card or in your journal, and keep that stuff with you. Prioritize. That's why you need to log your free time and say, is this aligning with my writing goals? You know, if I've spent 3 hours on Hulu or whatever you have to do, keep track of it and say, has it equated? Because you really only have, well, in my experience, except for like really heavy NaNoWriMo days where I'm full of caffeine and I'm writing, but on a normal day, my dog's whining, but on a normal day, you only have like 2 or 3 good hours in you of writing. Like, that's the maximum before your brain's just like, I'm done. So if you can find out, there's a really good book called 2K to 10K, or 2,000 to 10,000 words, and it's just a little ebook. I think it's 99 cents. If you want to download that and read it, it's got some really good suggestions of finding where is that maximum 2 to 3 hours a day for you, and stick with that. And listen to my words, don't listen to my actions, because I do not write at the same time every day. But normally around 10 a.m., if I'm up and doing stuff in the day, around 10 a.m. to 2, to like 11 or 12, or to 2, it just depends, somewhere in that range. And again, I don't work, so you guys that work, you guys are going to have it even tougher. But on the days you don't work, try that. If it's like a day like that where there's a lot going on, then I can't write until the house is completely quiet and it's dark outside. There's a certain thing called dream time, or when you go into dreamland, or the twilight zone. You know, they don't call it that for nothing. It's going to bed writing and waking up writing. If you can do that, it just comes easier. Like right now, I'm so sick, I don't even know what the hell's going on, and my ears are stuffy, like my fever's gone, but that's helpful because you're kind of like, what? So I was able to write today, no problem. But anyway, this video is very long, and I have to go to my daughter's orchestra concert, and the dog's whining. But I just want to wish you guys a happy NaNoWriMo. Keep writing. Don't give up. Try not to let those 24-hour and 36-hour periods happen where you're not doing anything, because you're going to feel the guilt, and you don't want to feel the guilt. Don't look at my nose, because I had a red Rudolph nose, and it's got a ton of makeup on it. But yeah, don't feel the guilt, because then your dream is going to get always put to the backside, and you're going to feel guilty, and it just creates even larger resistance. So try not to feel those guilty moments. If you write 5 times a day, you never feel like you're not writing. That's how I feel. And again, if you're going to have to work it out. If you're young and you're working and you've got energy, you're gonna have to use that. I'm old, but use your energy. Keep your your notepads with you. That's important. Write it down. Don't say you're going to write it later. You'll be surprised how easy it is to look at a note card and see those 2 lines of dialogue, or that setting, or that character, and it's much easier to put it in your document if you have at least that. Because I don't know about you, but my memory for writing is not good. I will not remember. And when I look at my note cards, I'm like, I don't remember writing that. But it's something I've jotted down at like 11 o'clock at night before I went to sleep. But anyway, you see I have no breath. But anyway, I've got to run over there. But this is very long. But I just want to say hi to all you guys. Hi to everyone in my Nano cabin, in my Twitter cabin, and here on YouTube in a what is it? Redband. Yeah. So you guys keep writing, okay?